Good morning, JP Army. It is I, JPR, back with another Pokemon movie review. So after my previous review of Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction, I noticed a few of you wanted me to do a review of Genesect and the Legend Awakened, since I compared the two movies a few times throughout the last review. Fair warning, since this movie has been out for over a year now, I will be dropping some more heavy spoilers than I did in the last review. I won't spoil the entire movie, but you get the gist. So instead of giving us a proper prologue to this movie like Mewtwo Strikes Back did, they instead decided to throw out this new Mewtwo at us and give its backstory through flashbacks. Ha, kinda like Man of Steel. So literally less than a minute into the movie, they decided to throw the Genesect in our faces. Just like Mewtwo, their backstory isn't revealed until later. Eventually, these legendary Pokemon confront each other, and we finally get into their backstories. And to be honest, their backstories kinda suck. I mean, we don't even know who made this Mewtwo. It's obviously not the same Mewtwo from the first movie, so the people who made it can't be Team Rocket. All we know is that they have lab coats and sunglasses. Genesect's backstory, on the other hand, is slightly more interesting. It merely shows them escaping from Team Plasma, which is sort of cool, I guess. I wish they had shown N canceling their project or something, but I guess that was just too much work for them. So after Mewtwo offers to help the Genesect, the shiny one appears and blasts Mewtwo. So why is this Genesect such a jerk while all the other ones are chill? I have no idea, because they never explain that either. Finally, we get to see Ash and his friends entering an area based on New York City. Apparently Professor Oak sent them there, but we wouldn't know that, because Cartoon Network actually decided to air the prologue of this movie 3 months after the actual movie. Why? I won't even ask. So Ash finds Genesect and they have a nice bonding scene. I'll admit, the scenes with Ash and Genesect in this movie are some of the best. I don't know why, but Ash's connection with Genesect just feels better than his connection with most of their legendaries. The reason I say most is because Victini is the best. After yet another confrontation with the Genesect, Ash and his friends meet Mewtwo.
It just changed! Hold on.
Wow, he almost identified something without his Pokédex. Good for him. So after we hear Mewtwo's backstory for the millionth time in our lives, we cut back to the Genesect taking over Pokemon Hills. This is another thing I don't understand. Later in the movie, Ash says the Genesect took over this place because the environment was perfect for the Genesect. But at the same time, how could the Genesect know about this place? I mean, they've been dead for 300 million years. Did Team Plasma hook up a TomTom to their brains? So after Ash and his friends get to Pokemon Hills, the writers decide to use an injured Ralts as an excuse to get rid of Silent for a few minutes. Then Ash and Iris enter the area where the final battle takes place. Wait, what? They've seriously set the place for the final battle only halfway through the movie? That basically means that none of the main characters can do anything for the next 35 minutes. And it's true, all Ash does for the rest of the movie is stand around watching other Pokemon maul each other. This is Kyurem versus the Sword of Justice all over again. Anyway, in the middle of all of this criticism, Mewtwo and Genesect do manage to pull off a good battle or two. I'll admit, the animation done for the battles in this movie is great. Sure, the fight scenes between Genesect and the other Pokemon get a little lengthy at times, but they're still alright. So in the middle of all the fighting, Genesect gets blasted, and it shuts down.
I'm glad you're alright.
Oh no! Genesect, wake up!
Pikachu.
My god, doesn't that just break your heart? I mean, your instinct is to think that it just died, but no, he wakes up 5 minutes later, and the fighting continues.
Hang in there, please!
Sorry, not falling for that this time. Look, Genesect, I know this movie's plot is a cheap rehash of last year's movie, but you can't just take naps every 10 minutes. Oh wait, there's, some fine print on the DVD cover. Genesect and the legendary script that even puts the main characters to sleep, but they'll eventually be awakened. Yeah, that sounds better. Eventually, Mewtwo gives Genesect a good talking to, and the two fall back to Earth. Then Ash realizes that he needs to catch them and save the day.
Okay, Charizard, go with them too!
Really, Ash? I mean, you're not even gonna ride on Charizard this time? He must be getting pretty old. Or not. Never mind. So with that opportunity out the window, Ash has officially done nothing for 2 movies straight. Congratulations! Alright, enough of that, let's break it down. The movie's plot flows well, but that's because the plot is incredibly simple. Not to mention it's mainly a steal from the previous movie where the two legendaries just fight for 68 minutes. The movie's soundtrack is pretty good. The music for the sad scenes felt sad, and the music for the battle scenes felt intense. I like that. But just like the Kira movie, it feels like this movie is more of a story about Mewtwo than Ash, even though Mewtwo gets less screen time. And guess what? We'll never see this Mewtwo again. It'll end up just like Keldeo. They develop a character in an hour-long movie, and then they're never heard from again. That's why I love the Dual Victini movies. Ash was a true hero in those movies, and it didn't just focus on the new Pokemon. I mean, let's be honest, Ash never has any cool moments in the TV show anymore, so we rely on the movies to see him in action. But with movies like Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice and Genesect and the Legend Awakened, we don't get any of that. It's just a big bummer in the end. Am I gonna criticize Mewtwo for having a female voice like most people do? No, because that really doesn't affect anything. Even though it would have been nice to hear the old Mewtwo, that doesn't change anything about this movie. This movie gets a 5 out of 10 rating, and on a scale of 1 to 17, it takes 14th place.